had a lot of change. My parents divorced when I was really young, and I moved around, like living in different, apartments and with different family members. So change was always a thing for me that I just kind of, I adapt well to change. So I didn't really ever think of it as scary. And honestly, I know myself well enough to know that I'm going to be okay wherever I am. And I'm smart and I'm capable and I make people like me. I make friends, So I wasn't ever concerned about it. Not to toot my own horn too, but yeah. Does anybody?
What is it like? Because I think you said you did your undergrad in theater.
Oh yeah.
What is it like switching fields? Because I'm going from like psychology to higher education. So what did you say is like switching fields? What did you encounter there?
You have to do your prep work. So when I actually got done with my theater degree, I wanted to be an actress, and then so I got a day job in a pharmaceutical research facility, entry-level job, but it was something that I was making money, and then I realized that I wasn't going to make any money acting, so I thought, well, this is really interesting. If I'm not going to do acting, then this sounds good to me, right? So that was how the interest came about. But I worked there. I put in time. I worked there for 3 years, and steadily moved up into eventually a research coordinating position. So I had a few different roles, and then took coursework. So I knew my prereqs when I was looking at schools that I was interested in applying to. I knew kind of which ones I would get into, based on my background, and then some schools are very, rigid, and you have to have a background in this field. But then others are not, especially moving from, if you go into a program that's like undergrad into master's and then into the doctorate, they're kind of wanting to reteach you things anyhow in the master's portion. So it just depends on the school. So just know where you want to go. And my search for grad school was very narrowed because I was married and I had to think about my husband and not moving him to Timbuktu and making him, do what I'm like, boring him to death in a little city or whatever. We lived in Austin and it was exciting and it was fun and there was a lot of opportunities. So we wanted to choose a city that had theater and had some things that were of interest to us. And so I lived in Chicago. So it just depends on your search, and just know what the prereqs are and kind of talk. I would suggest talking to faculty, getting in touch with them, via email or phone. You can set up phone interviews, and you know what I mean. Just getting some information on the schools you're interested in, and then kind of meeting whatever requirements they have. That helps.
She took about 5 classes, and
yeah,
she also worked as a research assistant
yes.
with a graduate student at the University of Texas, because we were in Austin. So she worked there to get someone with a letter of rec and history to put on her resume as something in that field.
Yeah, I just did the grunt work to that
she
I needed
worked
to have on my.
Really hard.
I did.
I have a question. You didn't get married until after you got your undergraduate, and then until after you got your undergraduate degree, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do you see that if somebody's considering getting married prior to completing their undergraduate? Could that tremendously affect their ability to pursue graduate level studies?
I think that's a personal question. Who's the partner? So my Zach is very supportive of me, and I would say that would depend on the partner and maybe how driven you are to kind of if you don't let things get in your way. And I don't think I ever have been that way. So if I wanted to pursue my degree, then Zach was going to support me in that, and you just kind of figure it out along the way. I was going to apply for grad school a year earlier, and then we got engaged, and I was like, I'm planning this wedding, and I'm not applying to grad school at the same time. So I put grad school off a year for that, and it was like it's worked out fine. And so I think you can't always plan for everything, and Zach is a huge blessing in my life. So, yeah, again, depends on the person and the relationship. So, that is-
Where'd you get your undergrad at?
UT
UT?
at Austin.
Theater in Austin.
Yeah, both, that's where we met in the theater and dance department, both in the theater and dance degrees. We both ventured out into different fields.
Is he a good dancer?
Is he a good dancer? Not really.
Not at all.
Better actor than a dancer.
Yeah, just a
But
little bit.
I
ever
like
act like
it.
you're
I
dancing?
to dance.
That's what I do when I'm dancing.
He used to be the like prop against the wall guy, but then like you know, I kind of was like, move your body, like who cares if you look so
So Poppy says to me,
yeah.
yeah, you know, I'm the Latino in the family, and she's the white one. I should be the one that knows how to dance. Sorry about the stereotype of white friends, but yeah, you know, she just tells me to just move, and it just doesn't work. Some of these guys have seen me dance, and they laugh at me.
Amber's like, yeah.
Better than Chris.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think it was the hardest thing, like, for you to adjust to once you went into grad school?
I think it was the expectation of what I had throughout grad school. So what I thought it was going to be turned out to not be what it was at all. In
Like,
fact,
what did you think it was going to be?
I didn't get a job at all, and I thought that, you know, I took 3 hours, and I'm a busybody, and, you know, in undergrad I took 18 hours at UT, and I worked 26 hours a week, and then I did plays, and that took, you know, 7 to 11 p.m. at night, and anyway, so I've always been someone that took a lot on, and so I expected, you know, 9 hours of coursework in grad school, it's all I'm going to be able to do, you know, it's all I can possibly do. And so I expected it to be sitting in a library for 12 hours a day, every day of the week, and it just wasn't. You know, like I said, it's challenging in different ways. It was not challenging in the way that I expected it to be. So kind of dealing with ambiguity in my field is a big thing, and I feel like they really prep us for that. In our assignments, they don't give us a whole lot of, you know, direction, and they want to see us think creatively, and I didn't anticipate that, and I didn't anticipate all the group. I do so much group work, it's like nauseating. Like, I love people, but then you having to coordinate 5 different people's schedules. I mean, I was expecting study, test, study, and it hasn't. It was much more interactive and you know, participative. So my expectations going into it were a lot different than the reality, and it took some time to kind of accept that and go, well, maybe I wanted my program, or expected my program to be a little different, you know, but I'm going to work with what I have, and it's kind of your vantage point, and I see my degree now as whatever I make of it. You know what I mean? Or like my coursework, whatever I make of it. So I have a more positive attitude as opposed to going, well, this wasn't what I expected, you know, and pouting about it like some people in my program might do. But just kind of, running with it. And then I'm in an internship right now that is very pivotal for my like professional growth, and it's a great opportunity, and I have it, and you know what I mean? So just kind of not downplaying my degree and accepting it as the coursework goes along. Does that answer your question? Okay.
You mentioned that the grad school is expensive. Are you full funded or?
No, the PsyD program at the Chicago School is, they offer some scholarships to first-year students, and they're $10,000 each and no pay for a semester, so it's about $10,000 a semester to go there.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's expensive. So we're. But again, that depends on the degree, and you know, like where you decide to go to school. Where it's loans. You know, that's what we're doing. And again, calculating your ROI, and I won't lie, it's nerve-wracking because going, oh, okay, sure, that's a lot of money. I'll put it towards a school, and